Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another video of becoming a Wild Rift expert. And in today's video we're gonna be going to Brazilian Wild Rift esports. Vivo Keyd against Liberty. These are the two best teams in Brazil, and these are also teams that qualified to Icon series, and I can't even talk because Keyd is going for a crazy invade. I love it when teams do this. I love it when teams do this. These are like the cheese strategies that you do in solo queue, but we actually see them happening competitive, and Mano Fraser on the Leona actually fell trap into this. I have a lot to talk about during this one, so let's immediately talk about the draft. Before the draft, however, actually, we can see that Katarina and Odysseus, apologies if I butcher the names, they actually did the rotation where they take the mid lane together and roam around to the top lane. We've seen this in Chinese Wild Rift as well. And I find it interesting because you share golden experience, you know, the net value that you get is more than normal. But Odysseus is going to be losing a little bit of lane priority because of it, but it seems to be fine, right? Like, it seems to be all good. But what I want to talk about is the draft. There's a lot of interesting things about this draft. So the first thing that my eyes immediately fell on is the Xin Zhao, because this Xin Zhao pick is so amazing. And I want to start with the test your knowledge already, guys. Why am I saying that Xin Zhao is like the absolute one of the best picks that Liberty could have possibly picked into this composition of Keyd? Tell us in the comments, test your knowledge. This is a good one. Like, if you understand these types of things, you're gonna get much better at drafting. You're gonna win many more games because of your draft. So let me know in the comments why Xin Zhao is such a good pick here, and see if you're right. So pause the video right now because I'm gonna reveal it. Okay, so there is a common misconception about Xin Zhao, which is Xin Zhao is only good against big range champions like Ziggs, for example, because of his ultimate, right? Because he blocks out the damage. Sure, he's good against them, but he's also good against another type of champion, which is heavy engaged champions. First of all, Camille. He can push Camille out of her Hextech ultimatum, which is her ultimate. So when Odysseus tries to go in, Xin Zhao, boom, he just throws his ultimate and pushes Camille out of her ultimate. When Fiora tries to use her Grand Challenge, which is her ultimate, Kinzin, boom, uses his ultimate to push him out. When Katrina on the Garen tries to go in and silence someone, what is gonna happen? Another boom on the Xin Zhao. Same story for the Rakan, guys. Just basically when Keyd tries to do a full engage on Liberty, Kinzin on the Xin Zhao can just push all of them away. So as I said, Xin Zhao is not only good against these super range champions, he's also good against a composition that wants to all in engage because he can push them out, guys. So I just really love this composition from Kinzin. And if we actually look at the full draft, by the way, from Liberty Gaming, Liberty has an amazing team fighting draft, and the Kai'Sa pick is also amazing because what Kai'Sa is really good at is single target damage and repositioning herself. So when the composition of Keyd tries to engage on the Kai'Sa, tries to catch her out, first of all, Kinzin is going to push them away, and then Boss on the Kai'Sa can just dash to one target and kill that one target. So this is in theory. Let's actually see what happens. So Liberty tries to gank Odysseus, but Odysseus knows what's up. I love how these Baron laners know what's up, and I really love that Baron laners, in my opinion, Baron laners got much better this year compared to last year. Like, I feel last year's Baron laners were not as good as this year. Like, clearly this year the Baron laners are much better, from EU, from China, from Korea, and here from Brazil as well. Like, the fact that Odysseus just knew what was coming, he placed that ward down, he knew what was happening, he doesn't get caught by those cheese strategies. Last year it happened so often where someone would get caught like that, but he doesn't. So another interesting thing, it seems Katrina on the Garen is going for the hole breaker. Yeah, he's going for the hole breaker. It's either a Starix gauge or a hole breaker. I don't think it's gonna be a Starix gauge. It's very likely gonna be hole breaker. So this is another strategy that we've seen happen in different regions as well, where people pick Garen in the mid lane, Katarina in this case, they go for the hole breaker, they switch with the Baron laner. So I assume Odysseus and Katarina are going to be switching lane, and then all Katarina is going to do is split push. But I've never liked this personally. Like, even though teams do this a lot, my counter argument to this is that Garen is a super strong team fighting champion, and having him on a hole breaker is gonna take away some stats, right? Like, you could have had him on a Black Cleaver, for example, and that would have been such an important item for Keyd, by the way, because if you look at their items, no one has a Black Cleaver, and Garen, when he spins and uses his third ability, can apply those stacks very easily. Right here we can see Liberty is shaking hands, and that's okay. because they're taking an ocean dragon. Now I know Rift Herald is worth a lot, and keep in mind this is the last update where Rift Herald was worth 300 gold as opposed to the 150 gold which Rift Herald is worth now. So Rift Herald was worth like a lot, and as you can see, Keyd is getting ahead in gold because of that Rift Herald especially, and they're gonna be able to push a turret. So Liberty decides to go for that dragon, and again, it's fine because Cloud Dragon is so powerful, but I feel they could have fought them. Well, I assume the reason that they didn't fight is because no mercy on the Corki with the Corki package, right? Like, that's the whole point of picking Corki. Yeah, there it is, to use the package during a team fight. So Liberty was like, nah, we don't want to deal with the Corki package, we're just gonna shake hands. So that's fine. And it's interesting to see how the Brazilian meta seems to be very safe and sound, or I've picked a game where it's like this, but the teams are playing very calm and collective, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm quite surprised. I find both these teams play pretty well right now. They're playing really, really well, and I heard a lot about Brazilian teams, by the way. I heard like they're gonna surprise you at Icons. They're much better than last year, because I remember TSM from last year. They were pretty decent, right? But they didn't reach the top, and I'm kind of feeling it right now, right? Like, people keep telling me, man, you have to put your eyes on the Brazilian teams. Don't forget about the Brazilian teams. These are the good teams. So I'm interested to see. So right now, Keyd, every single one of Keyd finished an item. So they're very strong right now. And it seems like Liberty is doing a 5-man engage. And oh, what a beautiful, beautiful fight. This is exactly how you want to be playing that composition of Liberty. And this is the problem that Keyd has. Because look, Katrina is split pushing. Sure, he's split pushing with a hole breaker, but Liberty killed 2 people. And they're putting 2 people on the top lane turret. As you can see, Freaks and Kinson right now, they're going to be taking the turret even nearly before the Garen even. But this is totally worth it for Liberty, by the way. This is so amazing to see, because they were not only able to get 2 kills, they were also able to get a turret, while Garen built a full hole breaker to take his own turret. So here, as we can see into the replay, beautiful catch by the Xin Zhao, but the engage was even better. The double stun by Leona. Oh my god. What a beautiful team fight by Liberty right there. Absolutely stunning. So another thing about the item build of Keyd is I see 2 Divine Thunderers, which makes sense because the composition of Liberty is quite tanky, and they're going to be building a lot of armor. Because if you look at the builds of Liberty, armor boots, we can see Riven is going to be building at Death Stance because that's the normal Riven build. We can basically see a lot of armor because Leona as well, who has a lot of armor, and this is the danger that Keyd has right now. They didn't go for the Black Cleaver on Garen. And I still feel like, even though I see so many different teams do this, and I understand why, you know, the whole breaker Garen, I still feel this is a mistake, because now Keyd is going to be missing out on that armor shredding, which they desperately need against that composition of Liberty. Because the composition of Keyd is heavy AD. They only have that 80% AP damage from Corki, but besides that, everyone is AD. So I just really feel they need that Black Cleaver as fast as possible on Katrina. And then the problem you're going to have is it's going to be counterintuitive, because Katrina, you know, he wants to split push, but then you also need him with his Black Cleaver in a team fight. So it's just a bit hard to see how Keyd is going to be playing out this composition. So I'm interested to see. Right now, as you can see, Katrina split pushing, of course, because that's what a champion does with the whole breaker. And I love this Rift Herald as well. They're applying pressure on every single lane. It seems like Katrina is not going to be applying pressure. I would love to see Katrina keep pushing actually. You know, he pushes the bot lane, pressure on the mid lane, and then also pressure on the top lane. So let's see what's going to happen. It seems like Keyd is just fine taking that one turret. And what happened there, by the way, is the Rift Herald timer was running out. So they kind of had to place it down. I would say this is somewhat of a win for Liberty, because Liberty didn't lose the mid lane turret. What we see happen a lot in competitive is when teams take the Rift Herald, they generally tend to push the mid lane turret, which makes sense, right? Because the mid lane turret is worth so much. It gives you that it gives you the map pressure. But Liberty didn't allow Keyd to do that. So Keyd was forced to use it in the top lane at push. Right now, Keyd has the Corki package, and it seems like Liberty may want to take the fight. It's a bit dangerous. It's always dangerous to fight a Corki near the dragon, but I feel they think that they could win now. But still, it's a bit hard to do, especially because Keyd has so many good item power spikes right now. But let's see what happens. This is an exciting game. I love watching this. So I definitely expect one team at least to go to Rift Herald, because Rift Herald was worth so much in the recent patch that, like, whatever, you can just give away a dragon and it's fine. A mid lane Karma, by the way, I find very interesting. Kona on the Karma. fully upgrading his first ability just to deal as much poke damage as possible. The package is running out from No Mercy, by the way. So this is, Liberty is doing, there it is. Liberty is doing a great job. And now Liberty can indeed start the dragon. Because now they don't have to deal with that Corki package anymore. Like, I just feel Liberty is playing this game so much smarter than Keyd. Even though Keyd is 1-0 ahead in this game right now. Oh, look at Mano Fraser on the Leona waiting in that bush and getting those stuns out as a surprise. Oh, and everyone is full HP from Liberty. Look at this, just playing it so beautifully. And oh, what a Karma ultimate. That was amazing. Katarina doing an amazing job body blocking on that Garen, by the way. But it's just not quite enough. The Karma shields, everything is too much. Oh, the Fiora Grand Challenge ultimate was amazing, healing up the entirety of Keyd, by the way. But it's just not enough. Qin Xin on the Xin Zhao is just so powerful on that Xin Zhao. And that's the power of Xin Zhao in those early game teamfights, right? Like, he's so damn powerful during the early and mid game. And he can push away anyone that engages. Just, Liberty has the stronger composition. They have the better draft right now. That's what it feels like. Yeah, and they take a dragon for free. They nearly lost the mid lane turret, however, but they still got it. And the Rift Herald is up as well. And of course, both teams are going to be fighting for the Rift Herald. So as we look into this replay right here, the Karma ultimate, oh my god. It completely denied the engage from Keyd as well. It was just so good to see. The Grand Challenge from Fiora was amazing as well because he was able to get that ultimate off, as you can see. But it was just not quite enough healing. Mano Freezer survives with 1 HP on the Leona as well. Just very lucky, but also very well played by Liberty. Another thing, by the way, that I want to talk about is the composition of Liberty also counters Garen in general. And especially Garen's ultimate. Because, just take a look at that combo. Riven has her third ability, which gives her a barrier against Garen's ultimate. Leona is Leona, she's super tanky. Kai'Sa has her ultimate, but as I'm talking, we have another engage. Riven engaging and stunning everyone. Ooh, a 4-man knockup by Mena on the Rakan, but it's just not quite enough. The sustain that Liberty has is just way too much. This is what I mean, like when you just build armor on the composition of Liberty, and when Katarina on the Garen doesn't have that Black Cleaver, you're not gonna be able to shred through this composition. You just can't. That is indeed the problem that I'm seeing from Keyd right now. Liberty just has such a tanky comp, and you don't have that Black Cleaver to deal with it. The Hull Breaker is not gonna be able to carry this team fight for you. And Katarina is not even playing around the Hull Breaker, because if we actually look at the turrets, Keyd has only taken 2 turrets, and one of them they took because of a Rift Herald. So that Hull Breaker on Katarina just really hasn't done anything for them right now. And you can indeed see that right now he's finally building towards that Black Cleaver, but I just feel it's late. Like, it's too late for the Black Cleaver. You could have built this earlier and helped your team win those early team fights. We have another Corki package, by the way. And I mean, look at Mano Freezer's build. Yeah, he's going ham on that armor, like so much armor. And it seems like Qin Xin on the Xin Zhao is also building at that stance, by the way. This is what I mean. And the good thing about this, by the way, is if Liberty can just get 1 kill, and you know, Qin Xin and Freaks get the assists, what's gonna happen is all the damage that, like the 35% damage that has been delayed, they're not gonna be taking any of it. They're gonna be healing it back, plus 15% of their HP. That's how the death stance works. So all Liberty really has to do in a team fight is get 1 kill. Get 1 kill, and both of your, like 2 out of 3 front lines are gonna be healing up a lot. So Freaks has to use his ultimate. Everyone fully engages. Just get 1 kill and you're good to go. Because Qin Xin and Freaks are going to be healing up so much that they can tank up a lot more damage because of that death stance. And actually, Keyd tries to go for the Baron. Yeah, I was just gonna say, you cannot go for that Baron. There's a beautiful ward from Liberty right there. And ooh, that was a close one. We have an ultimate from Mana Freezer, but it doesn't do too much actually. Beautiful Rakan engage again, but yet again, I just really feel Keyd doesn't have the damage. They cannot shred through that armor. It's just impossible when you have that composition of Keyd. Look at that. They take so much damage, but they just can't finish off Liberty's composition. You don't have the Black Cleaver. Well, now they finally do, but it's just not enough. It's still not enough. It's so hard to do. Ooh, Kona, is he going to be able to get that kill? It's close. Oh, he didn't get the kill actually. He flashed and shot him. That was a disgusting kill from Kona right there. He did the quick cheesy flash combo with his first ability. Damn. And now Liberty has a good advantage. They killed Odazus, and Let's see. Like, Katarina is constantly trying to split push, and I respect that, right? Like, that's what you want to do with the Hullbreaker, but it's just so hard to pull off, especially against that composition of Liberty. They're doing such a good job holding off Keyd, because look, they constantly keep applying pressure. They're constantly team fighting, constantly doing objectives, and right now they're team fighting as well in a 5 versus 4, by the way. Beautiful redemption from Liberty Gaming, and as you can see, 1 kill is all you need. Freaks and Kinzen are both, or Freaks is gonna be healing up in that front line, and look at him, he has 100% HP. Kinzen seems to be struggling with the Baron, by the way. Seems to be struggling more with the Baron than actually dealing with Keyd. Camille ultimate, again, you're just not gonna be able to do anything. You don't have that Black Cleaver with you right now. It's just gonna be so hard to kill the front line. Stasis enchant from Freaks. This is their chance to kill him, but this is exactly what I expected to happen. Katrina on the Garen tries to ult Freaks, but Freaks uses his third ability to get a barrier on the Riven and tank it up. Like, that's the power of a champion like Riven up against the Garen. Really nice catch by No Mercy, by the way. The Corki using his exhaust to slow off Freaks. Very, very nice. So what Keyd needs right now, they just need shutdowns. They either need to kill Kona or Kinzen, because both of them have 0 deaths and a few kills. They really need those shutdowns. So they kind of need to go all in just to get those kills, to get back into this game. Because even though the gold lead is only like 1,500 gold, the late game composition of Liberty is better than the late game composition of Keyd. And Liberty has 2 dragons, which of course skills into the late game. So Keyd really has to look for some desperate fight to try to win. And right now we can see No Mercy doesn't have a package. There is a dragon, there is a Baron. This is gonna be a rough fight to win by Keyd, because they don't have that Corki package right now. They try to start off the dragon, but Liberty of course is not gonna allow that. And Kinzen, look at him. They fully engage on the Garen. Of course they can't kill a Garen because Katrina just uses his Stoneplate enchant. But I love how Liberty actually saved their ultimates. They didn't use any important abilities on the Garen. Really well played by Liberty, because they didn't get baited, right? I see a lot of teams, what they do, you know, against a frontline like the Garen, like a Mundo, like a Alistar. These are champions that are practically unkillable. They do full engages, you know, they use every ultimate, they use every flash, they use everything to try to kill that champion, and of course they can't, because that champion is just gonna use a Stoneplate enchant and tank up everything. But Liberty doesn't fall for the trap, and only now are they gonna use their important abilities. When they're up against champions that are easy to kill, like the Fiora and like the Rakan, only then Liberty decides to use everything. Odazus did push a mid lane turret, which is very good, but now you cannot do anything against Freaks, especially because Freaks has a Hullbreaker, which gives him a lot of bonus stats when he's alone. Just honestly, so beautifully played by Liberty. I'm very surprised to see this. Their macro is so smart, right? Like, the mechanical plays are good, but it's especially the macro, the big brain plays that are amazing and astonishing for Liberty. Even the smallest little things, they're just playing it so damn well. It's just so nice to watch these teams play. Another interesting thing is Lord went for a very high damage build on that Fiora. He went for the Divine Sunderer, the Death Stance, and the Blade of the Ruined King, by the way. Blade of the Ruined King Fiora. I always like to say to my viewers, right, like, Blade of the Ruined King Fiora is good, but it's only good if you want to solo carry the game. So it's gonna make you very squishy. You're not gonna be able to frontline as much, but he doesn't have to, so it kinda makes sense, because they have Katrina on the Garen. They definitely need as much damage as they can. Katarina actually went for the Thornmail, which I really like as well. This is such a good item to go for into this composition, because it denies all the healing. Even if someone gets killed by Liberty Gaming, the Thornmail is gonna deny healing from the Death Stance. So Freaks and Kinzen are not gonna be able to heal as much from the Death Stance, but they got the Baron right now and they're splitting up, right? Freaks on the bot lane, only Freaks, and the reason is Hullbreaker. They want him to get the Hullbreaker, and now of course they will roam around, because 5 people is stronger than the Hullbreaker, but they only had him in the bot lane and then 4 people on the top lane. And it seems like Keyd is trying to take that team fight under the turret. Rakan, like, Mena is doing such good engages on the Rakan, but it's just not enough, guys. Liberty is way too strong. They're pushing the towers, they're pushing the game, they're pushing the Nexus, they're getting the kills, and they're gonna be finishing the game here as well, guys. I'm super excited to see what both these teams are gonna be bringing to the table during the Icon series. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video as well. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.